In November 2021, the TRRC recommended that 69 persons be prosecuted by the government of the Gambia. Government of the Gambia accepted in its white paper all of the TRRC recommendations on prosecution through a special accountability mechanism. The government of the Gambia, in partnership with ECOWAS, the Gambia Bar Association, the national and international criminal justice experts, worked collaboratively on the design of the special accountability mechanism of the Gambia between 2019 and 2024. For the first time ever, the country is being seen to implement comprehensive post-conflict criminal justice framework that activates at the same time both domestic and international pathways for justice and accountability, including for atrocity crimes. In April 2024, the National Assembly passed the Special Accountability Act and a unique piece of legislation for institutional justice or transitional justice. This act, the SAM Act as we call it, is not law that establishes any institution, but rather a declaration by the people of the Gambia. The Special Accountability Act recalls the dark history of the Gambia and lays out a set of principles to guide the entire post-TRRC justice and accountability phase that we are now in. The Act introduces three components of our special accountability mechanism and reaffirms a national conviction that without justice, there can be no national reconciliation, sustainable peace, or development. I am honored to announce, on behalf of the government of the Gambia, that Mr. Martin Hackett, a British national, has been appointed as the Special Prosecutor for the Gambia to head the investigations and prosecutions of the TRRC cases. Mr. Hackett is a British barrister with more than 30 years of experience in criminal and international law. A graduate of Aberystwyth University, where he obtained his LLB honors, he was called to the bar in 1995 and has built a career focused on complex prosecutions involving war crimes, terrorism, serious organized crime, and other grave offenses. In December 2025, the Independent Selection Panel submitted its recommendation on appointment of Special Prosecutor to the government, and the Ministry of Justice has since then drafted terms and conditions of service for the Special Prosecutor and facilitated the appointment of Mr. Martin Hackett by His Excellency President Adama Barrow in line with Section 5 of the Act. Mr. Martin Hackett is expected to be in the Gambia before the end of this month. He is appointed for a term of 4 years, commencing April 2026, and this may be renewed for an additional period as agreed by the parties and in accordance with the provisions of the Special Prosecutors Act 2024. Let me provide you with an outline of powers, duties, and responsibilities of the Special Prosecutor as per the SPO Act. The Special Prosecutor shall act as autonomous and shall not be subject to the direction or control of any other person or authority in the exercise of his or her powers or carrying out his or her functions except to the extent provided in the SPO Act of 2024. The Special Prosecutor shall have the power to determine which cases to prosecute before the Special Tribunal and which ones before the Special Criminal Division of the High Court, and shall conduct investigations and prosecutions in accordance with Section 16 and 17 of the SPO Act 2024. The Special Prosecutor shall, in addition to all powers conferred on him under the Special Prosecutor's Office Act of 2024, perform the following functions: investigate cases of serious human rights violations, including international and domestic crimes that have occurred between July 1994 and January 2017, using any method or technique permitted by applicable law. 2, to initiate and conduct prosecutions for offenses which were recommended by the TRRC and accepted by the government for prosecution, and which come to the attention of the Special Prosecutor during his investigations of the TRRC findings. 3, provide regular updates and reports to the public and relevant authorities on investigations, insofar as possible, and prosecutions initiated and other activities. establish effective and appropriate programs for the protection and support of victims and witnesses for protecting the integrity of the evidence and its internal procedures. Develop guidelines for the sensitive handling of witness testimony and other evidence involving vulnerable persons in order to minimize the risk of their further traumatization. Developed rules, criteria, guidelines for performance of any functions or exercise of any power conferred by the SPO Act 2024. Review, organize, and reorganize as appropriate the functioning of the SPO to optimize its operations with a view to completing its mandate timeously and with efficacy. Design public outreach and communication strategies to keep the public and the media informed about the Special Prosecutor's mandate, function, and activities in order to build public trust and confidence in the process. Regarding his reporting obligations, the Special Prosecutor shall submit annual reports to the President, to the National Assembly, to ECOWAS, the Attorney General, and any other authority designated by the Oversight Committee established under Section 37 of the SPO Act, detailing the activities, progress, and challenges faced, and the recommendation to address the challenges where appropriate, insofar as possible in view of the confidentiality of investigations and the presumption of innocence. This is the end of the statement. I thank you all for your kind attention.